with that, we'll open up to some questions.
Coach, just the challenge of with the transition to coaching, just the challenge of trying to get this class together and how difficult it was. You kind of mentioned about being like late to the dance.
Yeah, well, in my situation, I didn't early try to get a bunch of staff in here to go recruiting, because I thought the first thing was to give our team a direction for the winter break and recruit our own team, and not talk about 4 and 5 years from now, but talk about these seniors and this team. So, we really didn't get strong in the recruiting until after the holiday season. And of course, by then, a lot of guys, there is so much commitment that sometimes there's not a lot of movement. But we were able to stumble into some guys. We really didn't start pursuing a lot of new guys until the middle of January, because we did go, try to see what was there and all that stuff. Again, myself, I didn't leave recruiting until January. I was here December 7th. First deal for me was direct our team. Second deal, get a staff together, go recruiting. I do appreciate the kids that allowed us to come and listen to them, or listen to us, and sell our school, sell our pitch, sell our program. I think the coaches did a great job. We were all over the place, flying around, using contacts, and I am excited about our staff. And we got some guys that not only are good recruiters, but they're well connected, where they know people they can trust. And we got some good leads on some guys, and some guys that never came to fruition, never even really got on the radar, but some guys that we were networking to reach out to. So excited now that this is over, we can get a full year to really evaluate, really sell our brand and what we're trying to be, and see where we can go in the years to come. But I think our guys did a great job. I appreciate the kids allowed us to listen to what our school can sell and what we're going to try to do.
Coach, when you're talking about Trey Roberson, you made it sound you talked a lot about his leadership ability, and you like him, how he looks throwing the ball. Does that translate to you really thinking about him as a quarterback? Because there are a lot of people thinking about him maybe coming in as an athlete.
Yeah, well, it's kind of nice when your quarterback's an athlete. Because unfortunately I coach line, and half the time you miss blocks. You need a guy who can make a miss and move around. And so, I think he carries and does things that quarterbacks do. Now, he's young. He's got to learn how to play the college game, read coverages, and play within himself, and let the guys around him make plays and take what's there, learn how to manage. But I think he's got the makeup of what you want in a young quarterback, both physically, but I just think, again, the way he acts, thinks, carries himself, I think he has a bright future as a quarterback. So it'd be nice to see him come through with that. We'll know more, 6 months and a year and a half down the road, but I think he has. And now it's nice he has the athleticism. He can play other things. But we recruited him as a quarterback and look forward to working with him, developing him, and seeing where we can take him. I think we got some coaches that have played it on our staff, have coached it, and I think we can do a good job with getting him pointed in the right direction.
Coach, with this class, are there any kids that you look at as potential guys that might help you the first year, and what's your thoughts on redshirt?
Yeah, my thing is, competition's a great deal. We work awful hard. We can redshirt all we want, but these high schools have 100 guys and a freshman team and a JV team and a varsity, and we got one team. And when you're getting up every day early and running and lifting and practicing hard, and harder have you ever done, you're asked to stay in the summer and work out, and you never play. It's frustrating. So I've never didn't make a guarantee to any of these guys that they would play. Guarantee we're going to put some good people around them. We're going to academically put everything in front of them to get their degree. Now, football comes back on them. And so we're not guaranteeing anybody they're going to play, but my goal is every freshman plays until he shows he can't. And that increases competition. I think it increases their ability as they play, and athletically they're doing well. I think socially they do better. I think academically they do better. They're here. They're players, and players like to play. So we've challenged them all to do everything they can. If they're waiting to practice, because if you're going to play as a freshman, it's 48 months. It's actually 46 or 7 now, and your career in college is done. And they've got February, March, April, May, most of June. That's 4 months. That's 1/12 of your college career. If your college career was a year, that's January that they're in high school. So what are they doing in January to get ready in their college career? And I'm saying January, a 4-month period. So my deal is that we challenge all those guys. If you want to play, coach and change. These guys are older. How much do they know the system? How much farther are they? We need competition. We need special team help. So get yourself ready and see if you can play. So love to play them all. We'll see if they can. At Oklahoma last year, played 9 guys as on offense. You know what I'm saying? And one of the reasons was, we thought all seasons went better, summer was better, practices were better when kids played. I'd like to play guys, but if they can't play, we're not gonna waste a year.
Coach, it seems like, most of the guys that the previous staff had recruited in terms of verbals, most of that class is extant, but where alterations or additions occurred, a lot of it was on the line, on either side of the ball. Can you identify anything particular that you're looking for there in terms of frame or foot speed? Or if there's anything in particular that made you really do some alterations or additions on the line?
I mean, as much as anything, you're watching, you're looking for a body type. We're probably going to be more of a 4-man front than a 3-man defensively, where I think last year, as the year had played out, I think, the previous staff was looking at maybe a 3-man front with nose guards and D tackles or D ends. We're looking at D tackles and wider ends. So you're looking at an end, it's a little bit more in space, where a D tackle, it's a different body over guard as far as size. So to some degree, maybe size defensively or speed on the edge or size offensively. We can make a lot about height, but height is overrated. It's how big your bone and your girth is to carry weight. To be a 290 to 310, 15-pound kid. And then with that, can you bend? Do you show quickness, athleticism? Do you play hard? There's a lot of big guys that just stand around, because they're kind of big and lazy. So to me, you're looking for a guy on tape that will block somebody. Because a lot of times you look at this big guy, and you see a big guy, and you see him run. We had a kid years back that was a second-round draft pick, and everybody talked about how great his feet was. I go, he never blocks anybody. He runs right by him. He got great players. Wow, look at his feet. He didn't block a soul. How about blocking? And he's actually turned into being a nice pro player. But as young, everybody was mesmerized by his great feet. And so, to me, from an offense side, we were looking for guys that blocked. And then defensively, some bigger guys. So as we looked at it, again, but it was late, so I don't know if every body type's perfect. I do think we do have some frame girth, that we have kids that can have the size we need and substance. And I was impressed with the quickness of the big guys, both defensively and offensively. I thought we had kids that did because the game is played with foot speed.
Coach, having worked with a guy like Sam Bradford, who was a 3-star recruit, you've referenced that in the past and how you don't necessarily buy into all the, the overrating of the recruiting process. Was it kind of a key selling point to say to some of these less highly touted guys that, hey, I've worked with guys like this in the past, and this is what you can become if you follow my system?
Well, I mean, we didn't say it close, but we really just said our track record is, we've done a good job in the past with developing players, and if we're going to be good as a program here, we've got to develop players. And not only do we think, we like your talent and potential or a piece of clay we want to work with, but if you don't want to work hard, if you don't want to go to class, and you're not going to go about things the right way, this is not a good fit. We want guys that really want to be good players. And the talent of being a good player is called working hard. And so we expressed that, like, hey, look, for you to be good, you got a chance, but are you going to come in and work? Because that's, everybody talks about that, but that is a key talent, a key ingredient. Next thing is, are you going to be a guy going to class, doing things the right way? Because we're going to kind of conduct business the proper way as far as having, kids are going to make mistakes, and we all do, but, we're going to, be guys of character, go to class, work hard, and then when it comes time to go out here, we're going to get a 4.0 on the field too. And we're going to enjoy coming into the weight room, and we're going to enjoy winter workouts, and we're going to enjoy spring, because that's a part of the process that we need to win. So we really try to sell our process in the way we want to develop, as much as, yeah, we've done in the past, but here's how it worked for these guys. They have the talent, they were a nice piece of clay, but they bought into the process, and it was a two-way street. So we've tried to educate some of those guys on, hey, we're going to do some things for you, and we need you to kind of be all in to help us out too. So.
Coach Shanley was, I guess, the guy you got today, finalized today. How did you get, I guess you didn't get on him, there was a lot of other big schools that kind of involved there. How did that process work out?
It was kind of late, and I think he had done some research where he kind of liked some things we were doing, roles, and saw some similarities. I didn't sell that much. He was already sold on himself. I think Coach Eckler, who was up there hitting some of those Northeast schools, just connected, did a great job. Mike having played against this newer offense from a defense side. Hey, look, they're going to do this and this and this, and here's where you fit. And I think Mike had him sold before he got here. So, we were, very, very grateful for the job he did, and very excited. I mean, the kid has some explosiveness, and he's a smaller guy, but now he's got some charm and charisma. He's going to be a a guy around this program you guys are gonna like, because he's got a look in his eye, and he's got some gleam. You guys will like talking to him in the years to come, so. Very lucky, and kind of really fit what we need. It's kind of a two-way street. I think he saw our system could be a good fit for him, and in my world, he was uniquely a good fit for something we needed, so kind of grateful he came our way.
Coach, no kicker or punter in this group. There was some questions in the punting area last year at the end of the season. Any thoughts in that area right now?
Want to go for it on fourth down? Defense has promised shutouts, and we're going for it. So.
Perfect.
No, I mean, it didn't find any late, and again, hopefully we could complement, again, in-state, as a state program, and, you know, even though recruiting's over, we're not allowed to recruit walk-ons, but it's a state school. If we do things right, there's some kids in the state that are going to be interested in our school, and, I mean, shoot, last year in Oklahoma, I walked on when I went to school, earned a scholarship. My tight end in Oklahoma last year was a walk-on. We played 7 linemen, one was a walk-on. I mean, love to have some walk-ons, and sometimes your snapper and your kickers and punters, you can entice yourself, if you, especially when you're state school, and a kid's attracted to your school academically and financially. When you're in state, it's not that bad a deal for the price. So maybe we can complement that with the walk-on guys, or potentially late. If we get in the spring, I haven't evaluated them yet. And, you know, if I really think we're struggling as we start kicking, if we do find a body late, we do have one in hand, we could go that way. But right now, we're going to evaluate and see where it goes. If we need to address it late, we will. If not, we'll do the best we can with walk-on situation and work at it next year.
Is there a spot that you feel like didn't get addressed with your recruiting this year, or is there an area that you think or are concerned about after studying film and looking at your team and so on?
No, I mean, again, it is pretty balanced. There was a couple guys down the stretch, if we could land, it would have been nice. Didn't, nothing against them. I mean, but you know, you never know. Always, your prayers are bring the guys here we're supposed to work with. They're supposed to be with us, because it's a two-way street. And so I'm glad the guys we got, proud of them, thankful we got them. Again, I thought we needed some defensive line help, especially with some juniors leaving and out on the edge. Thought we needed some secondary speed. Thought we needed another. I would have taken another quick receiver if I found a guy or could have got a guy. But again, I think it went. I mean, as late as it was, no real regrets right now.
Coach, you talked about recruiting your own team first, and recruiting the staff, and then into this. In terms of staff, can you update us running
Yeah,
back
I will.
coach situation, and then
I was going to finish with that. Are we done with recruiting? I'll get there. You got any other recruiting deals?
I have one
Are
more
we going on
question.
time, Jeff? Couple more?
Couple more.
Okay, recruiting?
Yeah, I was going to ask, you just were talking about you would have gotten another quick receiver if you could, made a previous point saying how that's a point of emphasis that you were looking at. The guy you did get, Wynn, talking about how you need more quick guys, is he someone who you're looking at to maybe make an impact right away?
Well, again, I'll come back to him. Again, we haven't promised anybody, but encouraging every freshman to be ready to play. And some guys mentally can't handle it. Some guys physically can't handle it as far as their strength or their conditioning level. So, but he relates this guy you think has a chance, but we won't know until we get going. And again, we haven't made a promise or a guarantee to any of those guys, but we look forward to seeing if as many of those guys can get in the mix. We encourage that, and embrace that, and we hope they can. We'll see. And that's not a put down of our guys. I'm just coming from an environment where the greater the competition, the better the practice, the better the team across the board, and we try to enhance that every day in practice. So the better players we got, the more we got, the greater the competition. The bench is my greatest ally. So sitting someone down is a lot better than saying anything to him. So the more guys we can get playing, the better we'll be. We hope a lot of these freshmen will be in it.